Max Verstappen is a 63-time Grand Prix winner, 4 times world champion, and one of, if not the greatest driver in this generation of Formula 1. Lightning McQueen is a cartoon car. Okay, that might be underselling his achievements a little bit. Lightning McQueen is a 7-time Piston Cup winner, picking up 93 wins throughout that career, and almost won the 2010 World Grand Prix Series before helping to foil a false flag bomb scare perpetrated by Big Oil. If you've only seen Cars 1 and not the second and third films, you are in for a bumpy ride. These two are both some of the fastest drivers in their respective classes, but there's one question that's gone unanswered for years now. Who's quicker? This question is so hot on everyone's lips, it was even asked in the premier motorsports journalism forum, Oracle Red Bull Racing's Questions with Kids. And what did Max Verstappen answer?
He's very fast.
He's really fast.
I'm not sure if we could beat him.
We can ask him for a challenge.
Yeah, why not?
He didn't. He dodged the question. What are you scared of, Max? Scared of the truth? My name is Mr. V, and it's my life's mission to unveil the answers to the most important questions in Formula 1. And so I knew I had to take on this one. Just before we start though, I do need to tell you about everyone's favourite store for racing-inspired merchandise, MrV'sGarage.com. T-shirts with wavy tracks on the back? Yes. Cargo vroom vroom hat? Yes. Check it out in the link in the description, and remember that all channel members get 10% off. That join button is right about there, you can just click it, you know. Figuring this one out was never going to be easy. Firstly, when we say who's quicker, we obviously mean around a lap, or more specifically, around a whole series of laps, because every car has different strengths. We're not just comparing top speeds here, we're seeing who can go around corners, who can get on the brakes, etc, etc. And secondly, comparing vehicles between different classes in motorsport is not easy at the best of times, and it becomes even harder when one of our athletes is a driver, and the other one is the car itself. Obviously, Max Verstappen has the option to drive all different cars, some of which are definitely slower than Lightning McQueen, but some which could be faster. For the sake of this, we're going to assume Max in his bread and butter, a Red Bull Formula 1 car, and specifically the RB20 from 2024, the fastest car he's ever driven. But then for Lightning McQueen, it's not that simple either. Anyone who's seen Cars 1, 2 and 3, the documentaries about Mr. McQueen's racing career, will know it primarily focuses on the Piston Cup Series, which is roughly equivalent to the NASCAR Cup Series of our world. And presumably, like NASCAR, the Piston Cup Series is a regulated series, and so may be placing limitations on performance during the races. And also, can we just talk about the Piston Cup Series for a second? You may have assumed that we only know the history of the sport that we've seen on screen. No, Disney, for some reason, has given us the entire history since its inception in 1949. And so we know that previous champions include people like Lightning McQueen, Doc Hudson, and Strip Weathers, but also include people like Mario Andretti, Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Jr., and of course, the champion from the hotly contested 2000 season, Hauling Ass. We know that in the Piston Cup Series, McQueen is beholden to some kind of regulations because he has roof flaps, which have been mandatory in NASCAR since the 1990s. And so if he has these, it stands to reason he might also have some kind of engine or fuel flow limitations. And so his speed in these races might not be his full potential. For reference, for the release of Cars 2, McQueen was actually given official stats, which state he has a 0 to 60 of 3.2 seconds and a top speed of 200 miles an hour, both of which are worse than Formula 1. But then again, in Cars 2, he goes up against Francesco Bernoulli, who for legal reasons is just called a formula car, but I think we know what he's meant to be. Bernoulli has a claimed top speed higher than McQueen's and has a better 0 to 60, and while all conventional aerodynamic logic would suggest he is quicker in the corners as well, the film clearly shows they are neck and neck in every race they go up against each other. So clearly, these stats are lying. Lightning McQueen is being held back by the overzealous regulations of the Piston Cup. He was evidently able to let his hair down, metaphorically, in the World Grand Prix and show us more of his full potential, and so we can't rely on official stats. They're trying to keep something from us. As the World Grand Prix appears to be the time when McQueen could show us most of his full potential, and because it takes place on complex street courses, the most similar to Formula 1, this seems like the best place to start our analysis. Now, for this comparison, I could make a huge list of statistics for a race car. Top speed, acceleration, maximum lateral G-forces, but racing is complicated and there's so many factors that go into your speed around a track. Therefore, it makes a lot more sense to look at average lap speed for Max Verstappen at various circuits and then compare this to equivalent performances from the red Ka-chow spouting menace. These are Max Verstappen's average speeds from his best race lap in every Grand Prix in 2024. And averaging these out, we can see he completes any given lap at about 133 miles an hour. The fastest of these is obviously Monza and the slowest is Monaco. So what speeds can Lightning McQueen average on a windy road course similar to Formula 1? Well, to find average speed, we simply need to know how far he's gone and how long it took him. The World Grand Prix series of Cars 2 takes place on 3 racetracks. One is a completely fictional Porto Corsa, but then the other 2 are very much real places, Tokyo and London. The movie also shows us the track map for each of these circuits. Now, when I first saw these, I assumed these were highly stylized, fantasy artistic renders, or perhaps the layout of these cities is completely different in the Cars universe. But I am from London, so when I looked at this one a little bit closer, I suddenly realised, hang on a minute, that's just the map of London. Like, that's the same as Humans London. And so in case you're wondering, yes, you can go to London and drive the exact same route as Lightning McQueen. Well, apart from this bit, because it's pedestrian only, so you might get in some legal trouble if you drive there. And maybe this bit, because this is off-road in a busy park. You know what, actually, just don't drive this. Do not drive this. Now, mild spoiler, but due to the aforementioned false flag terrorist bomb plot, the London race of the World Grand Prix was never completed, and so we can't work out total race time. But the Tokyo one was. Tokyo is very much the same story as London, where these are real roads. Mostly. This section is a dirt track off-road section through the grounds of the Imperial Palace. You are going to run into some trouble if you try and drive that. But we can map the track layout onto an actual map and find the lap length. It looks something like this, and Google tells us that one lap around here is 25.02 kilometers, about 15.5 miles, which is longer than the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Okay, wow. Expecting some pretty long lap times here then. With the length of one lap, we now just need to know how many laps they did in this race, and then we can see how far they drove overall. For this, I scoured the promotional materials in the film, checked each vehicle's tyre usage, looked at context clues for the various fans in the... Oh, it just says it when they cross the finish line. 52 laps. Well, that makes that easy, I guess. Then I had to determine the total race time. To do this, I looked at the sun position at the start and end of the race, cross-referenced this with the sun chart for Tokyo at this rough time of year, found out that, oh, it says that on the finish line as well. Well, that has just wasted a lot of the work I just did, but whatever. 52 laps at 15.5 miles per lap, 806 miles, really? That's over 4 F1 race distances. 806 miles covered in 48 minutes and 26 seconds gives us an average race speed of 998 miles per hour. 1,606 kilometers per hour if those are the units you use. That's faster than the speed of sound. It's Mach 1.3. It would also mean that during this race, Lightning McQueen, or potentially Francesco Bernoulli, set a new land speed record, previously held by the Thrust SSC at 763 miles per hour. This seems a little fast, particularly because it looks like this. And there's absolutely no evidence of Mr. McQueen hitting a sonic boom during this race. I think there might be a small error in the calculation. Okay, maybe Cars Tokyo is actually not the same size as our Tokyo. That doesn't really make sense because these roads are designed for cars, and in cars they're also designed for cars, but you never know. Let's test it. The Rainbow Bridge has a diameter at this point of 240 meters, and in the film we get this exact same camera shot, which means we can work this out. Lightning McQueen has an official total length of 206 inches, 5 meters 23 centimeters. We can verify this because he is regularly seen side by side with his partner Sally, who is a Porsche 911 Carrera, and specifically a 996 variant. She, therefore, has a total length of 174 inches, 4.4 meters, and this checks out because she is noticeably shorter than McQueen. In the shot, we can see the Rainbow Bridge is exactly 36 Lightning McQueens wide. Yes, I know perspective is a thing, but it's close enough with this telephoto shot. It's close enough. 36 times 5 meters 23 gives us a total width at this point of 188 meters. Okay, so Cars Tokyo is smaller than our Tokyo, about 80% the size. That means that one lap here is only 20 kilometers, and Lightning McQueen's average speed is only 800 miles per hour. That's still really fast. Okay, maybe there's some other errors in here. Maybe when this timing board reads 48 minutes 26 seconds, it's actually 1 hour 48 minutes and 26 seconds. This can be a thing in motorsports. When talking about lap times, instead of saying, let's say 1 minute 25, you might just call it a 25 to speed things up. Okay, so there is a precedent. So if this is 1 hour 48 minutes, that means its average speed is only 357 miles per hour, 575 kph. That's way slower than land speed record. It is still 1.5 times as fast as Indy 500 qualifying while doing this. Maybe it's 2 hours 48, giving him an average speed of 228 miles per hour, still way faster than Max Verstappen, mind you. It's only if we assume this race is 3 hours 48 minutes that we get an answer anywhere near Formula 1 speed, 169 miles per hour average. This is still faster than Max Verstappen's average speed at Monza, and this Tokyo track is way more complicated. It's got a dirt section, and really, I've been clutching at straws here. There's nothing to suggest that almost 4 hours passes during this race. The sky looks exactly the same at the start and end. Mater goes off in the second half of this race and gets wrapped up in some international spy business, but this looks like it takes only a couple minutes, not multiple hours. We have to trust the evidence in front of our eyes. And everything in this film suggests that Lightning McQueen did complete the Tokyo Grand Prix with an average speed of 998 miles per hour. So to answer our question of who's quicker, it's Lightning McQueen, and it's not even close. Maybe if one day Max Verstappen is allowed to drive an unrestricted piston Cup Series car, he could achieve something similar. But for now, the answer to the greatest driver of our generation is put to bed. Ka-chow, I guess. Just out of curiosity, I did some calculations to see how fast Lightning McQueen could lap various Formula 1 circuits if he showed the same pace as in Tokyo. The data suggests that his qualifying time at Monza would be something like a 12-second .986, which, yeah, that would comfortably put him on pole position. His Monaco quali time would be an equally impressive 11.678. I mean, if he entered the Indy 500, he would have a quali time there of 9 seconds and would finish the entire race in just over half an hour. Well, a little bit more for pit stops, but still very, very impressive. That is assuming, of course, that those zealots at the Piston Cup Organising Committee don't try and put some kind of limits on him again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Check out Mr. V's Garage at the link in the description and let me know down below who your favourite winner of the Piston Cup is. While I do have a soft spot for hauling arse, and I think he won it in a very competitive season, my favourite will forever be the winner of the 2002 season, Mac Icon. Yes, I did not make that up, that is real.